attention now to something else which is staring at us, the Hindustan Unilever results. Thank you very much, Ashish and Mr. Baliga. Net profit numbers the revenue numbers itself are a bit of a disappointment. Margins are a bit of a disappointment, but they've made good a little bit on net profit, coming in line with expectations. The expert Mangalam is just on his way and I will get to him in a minute. Mangalam, you're ready?
Yes, Lata, so if you look at these numbers, part one is that this is X the ice cream business, right? So which is why maybe what the street was anticipating versus, what the company has reported. So there could be a bit of a discrepancy out there. On a standalone basis, that's what most analysts are, putting their expectations with. The company has reported a near 2.5% year-on-year growth. So, what the expectations were with the ice cream business baked in, the growth was 2.5% itself. So, on a reported relative basis, 2.6% is pretty much in line with what the street was anticipating. So the miss that you're seeing on an absolute basis is largely because of the ice cream business not being in the base. Also, if you look at the margins at 23%, that's pretty much a positive. The reason for that is because the ice cream business by itself is slightly margin dilutive. So all these numbers look like they're pretty much in line with very muted expectations. Remember, October still continued to see disruption on account of the change in the GST regime. November and December is where demand picked up. What I'm actually awaiting are the volume details, because the street was working this time around with a number of around anywhere between 2 to 3%. If that number is in line with expectations, then obviously the demand momentum is likely to accelerate in the fourth quarter. So that's something that we will monitor closely.
Your point about ice cream, the ice cream business was margin dilutive.
Yep.
But at the moment, the ice cream business margins seem to be lower than what the street was working with. Your poll threw up 23.2. Despite not having ice creams, they've not improved margins.
They haven't improved margins, so maybe it could be also a function of some of the exceptionals, etc. So we'll just try and monitor all those internal details. But meanwhile, as we're looking through the numbers, we do have Deven Choksey with us as well. The street has actually given a thumbs down to the initial numbers. So we'll get in some more details for now. Deven Choksey joins in with his initial reading of these numbers as well. Deven, 2.5% revenue growth, nearly 2% EBITDA growth. What do you make of these numbers?
Yeah, Mangalam, I think the counting was around 3 to 5% kind of revenue growth. Vis-a-vis that, I think it has come half of it almost. So certainly, I think it's somewhat disappointing. However, I think I would like to see the full details, because on the margin front, I think we have been expecting somewhere around 23.5%. I think it has come near to that level only. So I think margin is pretty decent comparatively, but the volume growth, I would like to see it in little detail. At the same time, the numbers are right now standalone. I think our consolidated numbers are also required to be seen before making any comment. But yes, I think slightly disappointing numbers, particularly on the face of it, it reads right now. Maybe I think the some amount of off-tech related issues, as I can see it, particularly from the urban space. The rural has contributed relatively better, as I see it from the numbers as published by the company earlier. The rural has been, I think, twice the urban growth. So from that perspective, the business is okay. Maybe in the rural space, I think some products which are not yielding higher amount of value have been sold. So to an extent, I think the volume drop is being seen at this point of time. But let us see the detail out. On the face of it, I think the numbers are sounding subdued at this point of time.
I would agree with you, Deven. On the face of it, these numbers are indeed subdued. Even if I'm looking at the other internals of the company, right? The home care business has actually shown relatively better growth. 5,900 crores worth the revenue in the home care business has been. This compares with around 5,600 crores. So that's a slightly mid-single digit sort of growth coming in 3 to 4% out there. Beauty and well-being has not grown as fast as what the street was anticipating. 3,400 crores has turned into just around 3,600 crores. And personal care, there has been a decline out there from 24-26 crores down to around 23-71 crores. My sense is a large part of that has to do with passing of the GST price cuts, and at the same time lower raw material prices. So those price cuts have been affected, which is why there is negative revenue growth in the personal care business. Foods business obviously has seen the impact of the ice cream demerger, but even if you discount for that, 3,500 crore turning into 3,700 crores, there's a mild growth here as well. Nothing much was expected, largely because of the decline in tea prices. So all in all, the street not very excited about these numbers, which have been at best middling with a 2.5% sort of top line and 2% EBITDA growth. We'll take your leave on that. We'll come back with more details on HUL's numbers and a lot more on the other side of this show. Thank you so much for watching. Take a break. Come back. Chartbusters up next.